Okay, so Assalamualaikum again, and a very good morning to everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Zaidi. Okay, I was from Faculty of Computing. Okay, since 2002, and 2 years ago, we actually during UTM Synergy, I moved to Azman Hashim International Business School. Okay, many people are asking, why are you moving? Why did you move to business school? I want to be rich like the business people. So I'm also the director for Center for Student Innovation and Technology Entrepreneurship, okay, which is UTM Excite. I like to thank you first to a few people. Okay, firstly, my guru Alex Osterwelder, I learned directly from him. Okay, and also a few references which I use to compile a few of the slides that I use today. Okay, especially from Conrad, Mr. Samara, and also from Jack and Jordan. Okay, all right. So, what's the aim for today's sharing? Number one is actually to increase mostly the comprehension of BMC. It's a tool for business modeling. Okay, there are so many understanding about BMC, which I can see from many trainings that I go. Okay, sometimes I'm invited, sometimes I join, sometimes I just pass through. Sometimes my students join, sometimes my business partner join, and they actually attended a few number of courses, particularly on BMC, and I see the differences in how they actually implement them because there are a few limitations. For example, probably because it's due to the time that is given to conduct BMC, and maybe it's just theoretical. For example, like today, I'm sitting, I feel very awkward. Normally, if I do BMC, I'm standing and I have a canvases and what they call it, post-it papers to be what they call distributed to all leads so that they can play around and actually do some prototyping. Even the word prototyping becomes quite confusing, particularly in business model canvas. Many people say, "Oh, okay, after I finish business model canvas, I have to come up with prototype." That's another thing that many people thought. But actually, the BMC itself is actually still a prototype unless you have done more work, particularly in validating the assumption that you actually put. Okay, number two is more on to create awareness on the critical processes of fitting, fitting the customer customer segment and value proposition. So in this case, we know there are several blocks in BMC, and particularly there are two blocks which are very significant. Okay, and the what they call these two blocks are, stressed very much in one of the very famous book written by Alex Osterwelder. Okay, I also will explain that one, and also I like to share uh, what they call something which we call it as a continuum on explore and exploit. I will go into that. That one is very new, very new. It's very fresh from the oven. So I'm going to deliver BMC now. So this book, it's actually a book which already been translated into 37 languages. 37 languages except Bahasa Melayu. We don't have Bahasa Melayu. Maybe some of you interested, but we have Bahasa Indonesia, which first hand I actually saw, and I took picture with the one of the person who actually brought the book from Indonesia in 2013. That was a long time ago. There are more than 5 million business people actually using and has been using this book. Okay, and also more than 1 million copies sold. So it's actually why I show you this statistics is because they're significant, and the wide use of this business model generation book written by Alex Osterwelde and his former PhD supervisor, okay, in Switzerland. Okay, and if you see this map, this is a global map, not the COVID-19 map. Okay, this is a map shows the bubble of all the places which uses business model generation. Okay, users in this sense is actually they are used as a standard material in their classroom, in their university, and so on. They declare it as a standard material. Okay, so you can see here specifically like IMD, okay, Harvard, Stanford University, okay, Wharton, UPenn, IESE Business School, and many more. Okay, Northwestern University, and if I'm not mistaken, Todai in Japan also use this book as a standard material for their class, particularly MBA. So if you see here, business model canvas is now taught to every full-time MBA student at our school. So it has become the standard for describing and designing business models. Okay, so the words, when they say the word standard, that means we know already. Probably there are some other tools which are used to describe and design business models. Okay, so it's not only BMC. There are many other tools available, and this is very interesting. Okay, Steve Blank, very famous guy, famous lecturer, professor, and also entrepreneur. He mentioned that no business plan survived the first contact with customer. I think many of you has experienced writing business plan. So business plan, some of you may be asking, oh, why we are listening to BMC, we are not listening to a talk on business plan. So business plan is, it takes time to develop, because the nature of a business plan, where it requires not only the business model itself, but it requires a lot of other information. For example, information such as the name of the company, the outlet, the address, the operational, what they call, operational information, and so on. HR and so on is required for that, and requires more time to develop. And it's not one page, it's not single page document. It's actually, normally it's a thick document. Okay, I developed also a few business plan before. Okay, for some of my former project when I was actually a student. I was an entrepreneur when I was a student, so I developed a few business plan. At that time, there were no business model uh, canvas available. That was in 1990. Okay, this is very interesting. Stated by Mr. Thomas Watson, the founder of IBM. The way to succeed is to double your failure rate. So this is interesting because why it says double your failure rate. Even just recently, I listened to a speech by Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon. He mentioned that Amazon is a place for you to fail. Amazon, you imagine, I don't know lah, if anyone, for example, if I myself feel a little bit scared to say that. That's why I talk to my staff. I talk to my staff in UTM site. Okay, guys, UTM site is the place for you to fail, to learn, to do a lot of things. Then it's okay to fail. Yeah, because it's very very difficult for us to accept the fact that failure is something that people cherish, or failure is something that people celebrate. Okay, but here he mentioned that cheap failure. Okay, cheap failure. Okay, I'm not going to cover on minimum viable product and prototyping today, but I would like to suggest, for example, to have maybe in future prototyping, MVP, and the concept of what they call cheap failure, because this is very good, particularly for us as a engineering university. Of course, not all of us are engineering lecturers. Not all of our students are engineering students, but we have the inclination to develop a lot of physical prototypes. Okay, so this prototype can actually be seen as a trial, whether you fail or not. Okay, it depends on what are the specific matrices that we use to measure. This is a common what they call, if you look here, this x-axis, x-axis is showing the design work, the search, the testing, and execution. Okay, do you know how it looks like in a real life? Okay, how does it work? Is it in a straight line? Okay, or it looks like this? So if you see, there's a lot of uh, unclear explorative things or what do you call, venue where we actually design, and then we search, and then we test, and then we design again, we search, we test. All these are part of the journey of exploration. So this exploration part is where we can see a lot of failure. Okay, so luckily, you see, if I'm there, if you are there as a dot there, the blue as a blue dot. Okay, at least of out of all the things, zigzag up and down and so on, you still go straight to execution. Alhamdulillah, you still can go straight to the execution level. Okay, so actually, one thing that I'm very interested when I sit in a class with Dr. Alex Osterwelder, okay, attended his master class. The first thing I ask him is actually what seems to be okay. You have already your business model generation book, you have already your BMC, okay, but what seems to be the problem? Okay, what seems to be the problem in making sure the business model is executed well? So he directly looked at me. He said, "Oh my God, that is actually the biggest problem that I'm facing. So please bear with me for many years. You will see a lot of books, okay, regarding how to pay or how to actually to see from the business model level up to execution. Okay, I think many of you, my fellow friends, my fellow lecturers, I know many of you are playing around with BMC in classes and so on, and you can see students. Maybe it's up to how you do it, but you can see students who are actually writing down on their post-it paper and then paste here and there. Okay, what happened? They were actually uh, putting a lot of ideas on that BMC. Okay, so whatever it is that they put, sometimes it looks very exciting. Sometimes it's like, oh my god, is it? It's like too good to be true. Okay, so all these are ideas. Okay, which requires a design, search, testing, and execution. Okay, but prior to the execution, there must be something which can be cleared, very clear. Then they can actually execute. We'll talk on that part later on. Probably maybe the third part because I have three aims just now. So another thing that I want to share, what is a definition of a business model for a startup? So what is actually a startup? Based on Steve Blank mentioned that a startup is actually uh, uh, a body or which is an organization, a small organization, which trying to search for the best business model. He mentioned that. So that means from development of the first sketch of business model, like this, like you can see here, okay, until they found or they find their likely the one business model that likelihood they will execute. Okay, so these are the definition, one of the definition of startup, even if you relate from the perspective of business model. All right. Okay, so why actually BMC? Okay, I haven't shown you what is BMC, but I think you can. Okay, never mind. You can imagine whatever it is because we haven't go into BMC yet. Okay, this is just to give you more understanding of why and how of BMC. Okay, it's not just a piece of paper where people just give it to you. They pass you some kind of post-it paper. You just write down and put it there, and then present, and then voila. Okay, give them a big hand. Okay, thank you very much for your BMC presentation. It's not about that only. Okay, firstly, why BMC? Because it's fast. Fast in the sense that you can actually write. You can actually write, put your idea fast. Okay, fast, and then also can be picked up by many. Okay, number two, it's concise. It's just one piece of paper. Okay, you can use your A4 paper. Of course, it will look very small, the 9 building blocks. But if you use an A0 paper, okay, you will get all very clear 9 building blocks there. Okay, there are 9 building blocks of the BMC. My previous room in N24A, sorry, N28A in School of Computing, my wall, I actually put a big BMC. One very simple. Anyone can use. You can actually do it. I just put, the plastic wrapping paper for books. I just put it on the wall. Okay, and then I divide using marker pen 9 building block. Okay, all the 9 building blocks of BMC. So, and I provide post-it paper on my table whenever I have students coming in. They are talking about their business. Okay, I don't want to discuss other than using BMC. Okay, so every of my students who come to my room, they want to talk about the business ideas and so on. and not actually only business idea, even their research idea, they come to me and then we start using the wall. Okay, so when I say concise, that means it's just everything 9 building block in one page. So you can see everything there. Portable, that means you can, of course, portable here. It's you can bring it here and there, and it can be seen. You can just paste it on the wall for people to actually become a brainstorm tool. Okay, or maybe today you put some post-it notes over there, and then tomorrow you go again and put another post-it note. It depends on how you implement. Maybe you want to capture idea from people on a specific product, maybe which you develop as an idea, and you ask people to paste it. Okay, and then how actually BMC being used? It's actually a communication tool. It's part of a communication tool. It looks, people say it's a template. Yeah, you can say it's a template. Okay, but if you see here, whatever it is in the 9 building block is actually being used for proper communication. Okay, so why proper communication? So that we have the same frequency, so that we can talk in the same language. The second one is actually to collect ideas. Okay, so people actually can use it to scribe, to draw, visualize ideas, and the last one is actually to tell story. Okay, so even people use BMC to do pitching. Okay, in previous year, me and my team, we won the Asian level business pitch, and also we won 7th place out of around 5,000 teams all over globally. And I learned a lot from there about how to tell story using BMC. Okay, but that one later on lah. If we want to learn more about that, we need to have a very practical session. Okay, what do we have? So we have, okay, I'm going through your chat. So we have what is the business model? Okay. Business model is an overview to your real business. Okay, overview. Okay, so let me just put down here. It's an overview. Okay, so overview of a business. And then we have a synopsis of the business. How the business works and how what it sets to achieve. How the business works. How the business. A plan of how to implement business idea. Framework of a business. Plan for survival. Oh, this is something very exciting. A framework to create and deliver. Framework to create, deliver, and receive business value. Wow, this is like what do you call a textbook answer. All right, good. And then we have planning of businesses, systematic planning of business execution. So we have execution, planning, strategic startup template for developing new idea, all of values of what is needed to start up a business, framework for your business plan, okay, a validation of business idea values, a plan for successful operation. PMC is how you run business and how to, the cash flow is related to you. Cash flow, okay, I write down here cash flow. Okay, simplest way to know your identity plan or know your business. Uh, Plan your business, identify the product and services, operation, sources of revenue. Okay, just now, sources of revenue, and representation of our business, the whole business projection for 5 years, 5 years projection, and a structured business planning tool. Wow, so many answers. Okay, anyone think the answer is correct? Before we go to the answer, these the elements that you put, which element? Okay, you have a lot of element. Synopsis of the business, how the business runs, operate, implement, how to implement the business itself, the plan for survival, to create, capture value, okay, cash flow, source of revenue, and option for fighting, and many more. So you wrote so many. So if actually I allow anyone, if I put a box or a whiteboard asking everyone to actually write what is a business model, you will get unlimited, okay, infinite answers here and there. Okay, so many people will provide you different answer. Okay, yes, as I think some of you have also experienced. If you talk to those old, not to say old lah, okay, older than me lah. I'm still very young. Okay, older than me generation, where they come to you, they say, okay, I like your business idea very much, but I want to know the business model. Okay. So I'm talking about those people who are in the maybe in the 50s or 60s. So when I was doing my bachelor degree in UTM in 1990, I was actually doing business also, and I get a very good key partner. Okay, to supply computer. Okay, I get around 10,000 credit facility. For every cycle is actually 10,000. I get 10,000. Consider as a 10,000. I can get anything for free 10,000, but later on I have to pay lah. It's like a credit. I think everyone can understand the credit facility. So this Mr. Yap, his name is Mr. Yap. He said, "Okay, Ramesh, I want you to give me your business model." I was like, huh? What is a business model? Actually, what they mean by business model is actually revenue stream. How you actually, he told me, you know what is business model? I said, I don't understand. Business model is how he actually show in action. He show me, pick up money from my pocket and then take it to his place. So he said, I want you to show me how I get as a do business partner with you, how we get money from other people's pocket to go to our pocket. I was like, aha. So since 1990, I had the understanding of business model like the all people, which is revenue, revenue. But here, when I started doing business model canvas, I was like having a different understanding. Okay, so I got confused a little bit, but don't worry. Today we are going to untangle all the confusion. Right. So let's imagine normally what happened. We normally, if we were to answer a question or we were to discuss some points, this is where it happens, right? If we talk something, we ask something, these are smart people sitting around the table. I look at you, you look at me, some of them smiling face and so on. And then some guy will actually say something, okay, blah, 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 blah. And then another guy or the rest of the people keep looking at him with some kind of satu tenungan yang bahaya because they couldn't understand. Okay? And then the other guy also try to reply but also using blah blah blah. For example, what is business model? Business model is blah 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 blah. And then other guy say, no, it's blah 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 blah. It's blah 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 blah. And we keep on repeating this again and again and again. Okay, so whatever it is that we do, we keep on having this kind of discussion. Where at the end of the day, everyone actually blah blah blahing. So, do you know what this phenomena is called? Okay, it's actually called the blah blah blah. Okay, it's the land of blah 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 because everyone is actually just blah blah blah. They don't have babbling. Najia mentioned bubbling. So it's just bubbling here. Blah 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 blah. So then Rom actually mentioned what to do when words don't work. Because he mentioned that any problem can be made clearer with the picture. So even a lot of just now we already have I already asked you the what do you call the definition of business model. You already answered to me, okay? And now I'm going to share with you what is the business model. What is the definition of business model? So this definition of business model is what being emphasized by the business model generation book. It mentioned here a business model describe the rationale of how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. So it's very, very important here. There are three things how organization actually creates, delivers, and captures value. Okay, so it's very, very important for us to understand. If you want to know about business model from the perspective of business model canvas, which is derived from business model generation book, which is translated into 37 language, has been used by so many businessmen, has been become standard. Okay, so I think we need to have a good understanding of what is this a business model canvas using this kind of perspective, this kind of framework. So when this is my picture with Dr. Alex Oswelder when I took the course. And do you know how much the cost? It's 2,500 Sing dollar for 2 days. Okay, so it's very very expensive. But it's just, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 1, 2, 3, 6. 7 tables of 3 people. 7 times 3, 21 people only. Okay, so it's really really good. From morning I came very very early to get all the knowledge, because for your information, guys, when the business model generation book published, okay, that was in 2010, end of 2009. Okay, there's a group called Tebrau Network. Okay, Tebrau Network, group of entrepreneur. They were my friends. Actually, they are my friends. But the Facebook is not that active. They actually invited many entrepreneurs to actually join and discuss over coffee. What is the essence of business model generation? Okay, so the best thing, I didn't learn from any guru. Okay, I do self learning. I bought the book, I read. So I do self learning. And then in 2013 I got the opportunity to meet and learn directly from the guru. So this is what I'm going to share with you. Okay, the keys. Okay, all right. Business model U. Yes, business model U also another good book. Is focusing on personal. Okay, I'm trying to come out with the what they call. I actually have a slide on that for personal use. So, for example, if you are a researcher, what is your personal business model and so on. Okay, I already explained to my Prime Lab, my research seminar group a few years ago lah. Okay, but I think I have to restart again, kick again the spirit of sharing. All right. So business model canvas. This is how it looks like. Is it? This is how it looks like. Okay, there are so many ways in doing it. Okay, you can try. You can scribe. You can scribe on a piece of paper. How fast can you write this time building block? Ah, okay, you can try. So for me, it's very common. I actually just write it very, very fast, very fast. Okay, but you can use a mahjong paper and so on lah. Or you can even download the copy of the business model canvas. No problem. So I'm going to go to you one by one, sharing. Okay, what is it in the business model canvas? Of course, when we do business model canvas training, sometimes if there are time, the trainer will actually share what is specifically the detail of every each building block. But sometimes unluckily we don't have that much time. The BMC is just given as an under the assumption that everyone has the understanding of how to use it. Okay, but it's not a big problem, because we are all of us in UTM. We are very progressive staff. Okay, we are very very rajin staff. So a lot of us will go again and again and learn. Okay, relearn. It's very very important. Okay, so the first block on the right side is actually customer segment. Okay, and then we have value proposition in the middle. Between value proposition and customer segment is we have channel. Also, we call it customer relationship. I'm going to explain one by one later. And then we have revenue streams, key resources, key activities, key partners, and cost structure. Okay, as an overview, I can explain. Let's say I'm telling a story. Okay, let's say my customer segment are pensioners who like to travel overseas with their very small amount of funding they have. So my value proposition is to provide them with the safe and suitable and a good mood suitable to their what do you call their interest. How do I actually provide my value proposition to them? Is through, for example, let's say a package through Tabung Haji, for example, or what they call this tour company. Okay, and I maintain my relationship through, for example, health check. Let's say I have health package, so that I can health and wellness package, so I can actually make sure that they maintain their health, so that they can always travel with me. Okay, and how do I get the money from them? I actually come out with package for them to subscribe as member, and they can purchase packages through maybe EPF, Employee Provident Fund, KWSP. Okay, the key resources I need is actually, of course, tour packages. I have to get also the plans, itineraries, and all the places that I need to go. Okay, and I need to have databases of all the customer segment. What are the key activities? Promotion, focusing on elderly people, pensioners, for example, pensioners, and key partners. Of course, I won't be able to do it alone because my value proposition on what I want to deliver, I couldn't do it. I couldn't design it on my own. So I have to work with, for example, Tabung Haji. I have to work with KWSP. I have to work with be partner with tour company and so on. And this is where the cost structure kicks in because I need to pay or come up with some costs related to pay my key partners, maybe some agents and so on. So that's a very simple, just a simple story from a business model canvas utilizing the 9 building block. How do we analyze our competition from business model canvas? Okay, I'm not going to explain. You just think about it. Okay, later on I'm going to explain it because I need to proceed. Okay, so this is one question I want you to just ponder. Can you imagine a business without a business model? Okay, you get already the definition. Okay, you already get the definition of what is a business model. You already see the 9 building block. You already even see the strength of the business model generation book, which translated into 37 languages, and also it is the BM business model canvas derived from that book, and it's being used all over the world. So people are so what they call required to be fundamentally strong in business modeling. Why do so many startup fail? I just want to share with you based on a research, based on a study by CB Insights 2019. Okay, the insights actually listed down 20 reasons for startup fail, but I just extract. I cannot tell all the 20. I just extract. Number one is no market need. Number two is no business model. Number three is ignored customer. Okay, ayo, like this also got ignored customer. Don't be surprised, eh? Maybe some of us say, "Oh my God, I never ignore my customer." Is it really true? Look again at our channel. Look again at our CRM. Look again at our value position. I'm going to explain this one by one. No market need. Okay, so number one reason for failure is no market need. It carries 42% of cases. Okay, I want to share. Okay, I don't know whether you ever heard a company, a startup called Colos. Nama dia pun pelik Colos. I don't remember. Maybe from Belgium, somewhere in the East Europe. I know Belgium is nice for chocolate, but not this Colos. Okay, Colos is actually the first iPad racing wheel. The first in the world, iPad racing wheel. Okay, you can see lah the pictures there. But from the beginning, the CEO, the founder, uh, he got the idea and he directly go to industrial engineer to design. You can see the design. It looks nice, right? I see the design and say, wow, cool, cool. Okay, I'm not a designer. I'm not an industrial designer. We have a few of you who are good in this. I'm not a designer. So I say, wow, this is good. For me, is wow, nearly perfect. All right. So the point here, he paid industrial designer, and this industrial the design is actually sent to a professional factory to produce. Startup, this guy is a startup. Colos is startup, and he already doing that. Why did he do that? Okay, number two, he doesn't have any experience from the idea. He just got the idea, he get the assumption, then he just come out with the design, pay the industrial designer, get the design, go to the factory and come out with this. And after he even after he get this idea, then he start purchasing iPad. You imagine, you got idea, then you start purchasing. You have no experience of using iPad. Okay, if you have the experience of using iPad, it's different. Then there are things that you require. You require to actually do what they call testing your assumption. But this one, how can he test his assumption? And he directly go to industrial designer. This is where I have another sharing, not here, regarding MVP, minimum viable product prototyping and business model testing. Okay, so we have um, what they call the testing of a minimum viable product MVP, which we require everyone to use a very low resolution prototype. Why you want to do this kind of prototype? This is already like ready to be ready to on the shelf. Okay, and in 2015 they won Kickstarter. I don't remember how much, maybe 40,000 USD or 4,000. I don't remember, but they shut down. You imagine, they shut down. There are no market need on this. They don't require actually the racing wheel. They can just use the iPad to control. You imagine there are a lot of sensor on the wheel that they have to do to emulate whatever it is that they have in the iPad screen. Because it's touch screen, you can always program whatever it is touch sensor on something here, touch to do action and so on. Number two is product without a business model. No business model, that means you will really get crazy. Okay, I want to share something. Tutor spree. Anyone ever heard about tutor spree? Okay, tutor spree is actually, I think from the name you know already. It's actually a tutoring, teaching, and coaching platform. It's an online platform where they actually find tutor and student, tutor and student match, and then they become teacher and also student. Okay, so teacher and students and so on. So even my current PhD student, Mr. Ahmad Najmi, he actually run similar to what it is here in UTHM when he did his bachelor degree. Now he's doing PhD under me. So he actually knows a lot of the problem on this. Okay, so what happened? 50% of the tutor fees taken. You imagine tutor spree as a platform, you take 50% of the tutor fee. Just imagine if the tutor fee is 50 ringgit, so you take 25 ringgit. What happened? The tutor and the students start to meet behind their back. So it's like your Uber rider lah. Always meet you. Suddenly, okay lah, bang, brother, I don't want to, what they call, don't need to use Uber anymore lah. I just come to your house based on our agreement. You pay me, I bring you anywhere you want. Okay, something like that. So they're doing behind the system, the platform. Number two, they are very dependent on Google search traffic to acquire new students. At that time, they were not in digital. They are not strong in digital marketing. In this case, I think you can guess lah. They are not strong in SEO, search engine optimization. So any algorithm change in Google will reduce traffic. I think the effect of Google page rank algorithm has impacted them very much, and they fell in the multi-sided customer business model. Multi-sided customer business model is where you have what they call you have a in your customer segment, you have a mix of two. One is actually maybe in this case the tutor, and one is actually the student. And many people say, let's say they are doing the BMC. I want to know, sir, is it correct if I put, let's say you are doing a tutor spree like this? Is it correct if I put in the customer segment block, I put the customer, which is the student, and also the teacher? There's always a question asked. Okay, because if you have a platform, you always have multi-sided. You have to cater both. You cannot just cater the student. Who will cater the teacher? You cannot cater the teacher only. Who will cater the student? So you must have both. So the platform type of business model now is being used. Uber, blah blah blah, and so on. Uber, all these Grab. Kira lah, so many. I have the list of all over Malaysia. If you want, I can share with you. Okay, all the list of digitally digitally driven companies in Malaysia. I have the list of all that. Okay, Dr. Omar have the list. Dr. Omar is actually last time had one of our project. Okay, the third one is actually ignore customers. Ignore customer. Some people say, I'm not ignoring, but they never realize. Okay, because you have to empathize. This part is another one. This one is related to what we call a design thinking class. We can have a design thinking course. Dr. Umar, I think Dr. Umar here. Maybe Dr. Umar is here. Dr. Umar, if you are here, please say hi. Okay. So Dr. Umar, he's good in design thinking. He can actually share, okay, the design thinking on empathy. Okay, so when we empathize, we actually don't ignore customer. Okay, so voter type. I don't know whether you heard about this. Okay, there's one website I don't remember. They put all the failed startup, the directory of all the failed startup. Okay, maybe you can ask yourself, you wish to be one of the company there? I hope not, but yeah, through failure we will actually learn. Okay, but they are fail and they are also what they call I forgot the term terkubur lah, terkubur fail and terkubur, and they don't do anymore in startup. Okay, voter type is actually a social media monitoring analysis app focusing on politics. What they do, they are what they call, these are technical people. They are good in analytics. So what they do, they perfect their product. Anyone can feel that. Look every day to the lab. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. So they become so what? So gila-gila lah with what they do. They do. It's good. No problem with that. But it becomes too myopic. Okay, too myopic. Dia tak nampak dekat lah. Dia tak nampak. Dia tak nampak dekat lah. Dia tak nampak jauh. Can see only very, very near. So, they always roll out great features. They put, because they're technical people. You know, technical people always excited. Oh, today I come, I see like this, I want to change. The next day I want to change. The next day I want to change. The next day I want to change. Okay? And they roll out great features, but when they, what do you call? When they show it to the customer, when they publish it, and so on, it's too late because they didn't get enough input from client. So in this case, like SS lah, syok sendiri lah, syok sendiri So sometimes like the last sentence, like we are easily get tricked into thinking our thing is cool. Oh, so cool, so cool. Okay, so if I think it's very familiar. I sometimes I bring my idea to my friends. My friends say, "Oh, this is good. This is good." Yeah. I talk to my family and then they say, "So this is good. Okay, Ramesh. Anything you do, I love you." Something like that. So this we call it the F, fools. The fools we call it. Family, friends, and fools. They are the fools. Which not to say they are full because they are our family. No, it's because they are so trying to take care of our feeling. They don't actually tell us the truth. Okay, so that one we already passed the three things. Yeah, there are many, but I just got the three lah. Okay, so BMC. We go back to BMC. Now we have to focus on BMC. I got this slide from Bosch. They actually did a Bosch accelerator program in 2019. So this they of course the source is strategizer. Strategizer you can see here. So if you look at your BMC, there are 9 blocks. Everyone knows here there are 9 blocks. We haven't go into deeply into what are the 9 blocks, just an overview of it. But you can actually, from the 9 blocks, you can abstract it. You can say there are 3 very important parts. One is number 1 here. There are 4 blocks. You can see there, desirability. The question is, do they want this? Very, very important question. Do they want this? Number 2, there are 3 building blocks on number 2, the blue color. Can we do this? So you want to develop your product, you may not be able to do alone. Of course, some of you say, yeah, I can do it alone. But it's very rare to have all the expertise from A to Z to do everything alone. So in this case, all of us must have partner. So we work with people. So the question is again, can we do this? The third one, should we do this? This one a lot. Everyone actually, when they do their business model canvas, this part of revenue stream and cost structure are not really presented well. Okay, we understand not many people are very keen into doing financial and so on, but there are some tools. If you are subscribing strategizer, they have BMC tools which you can put a digital BMC. You can put whatever it is number, in the revenue stream, what are the items, the number, automatically they will calculate based on the number of customers you have. Maybe in your what do you call specific addressable market, how much you want to target, they can account for you. Okay, otherwise you have to count manually. Anyway, the cost structure always must be smaller than the revenue stream. Always must be smaller. Okay, so that you can actually get your money lah. Otherwise, you will be always in deficit. Remember this. Okay, please remember this. The first one from nine. If you don't remember 9 building block, oh, I cannot say if you don't remember, it's okay. You must remember the 9 building block. Mm-hmm. Okay, you must remember, but at least you have it these three: desirability, feasibility, and viability. I'm going to show it again later on. Okay. So this is also BMC, but now if you guys, this is actually a review, a revision. Sorry, it's not a review, a revision from the business model generation book. They mentioned there are several epicenter because sometimes people ask, okay, where should we start first? Should we start from customer? Should we start from value proposition? Should we start from an instruction from Bendahari stating that maybe our treasurer say, okay, you can do anything you want as long as the cost is very, very small. Or you start from key partner. Key partner, somebody come to you and then, okay, Zaidi, I have all these things here. For example, there's a case last time. This guy, he was inherited with the what they call the construction lorry, all these big lorries and all the construction what do you call kenderaan construction lah. So he don't know anything because he's not from construction. It was inherited to him. So what happened? He has all the resources. You imagine he has the resources, but he doesn't know what to do. So later on, he actually took decision. I don't know what happened now lah, but he took decision to actually do rental, time-based rental on the devices, all the lorry and so on lah. Okay, so it's quite good. Also, it's up to him, but he actually do based on that. So we can see here there are three. There are customer-driven epicenter, there are resource-driven epicenter, and there are also finance-driven epicenter. Okay, just remember, I don't think it's so difficult to remember this one and this one because it's really the same, nearly the same. Desirability, feasibility, and viability is customer, resource, and finance-driven. Okay, all right. So I'm going to go into BMC. Okay, one by one. Customer segmentation. Customer segmentation is a different group of people or organization and enterprise aim to reach. Okay, this is very important. There are different group of people. For example, okay, the different group of people, we actually put it in different segment. First, maybe it's a mass market, consumer electronics, television, handphone, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's actually a mass market. And we have niche market, supplier, buyer. So they are relationship supplier, buyer. Some supplier directly deal with some buyer. Some buyer directly deal with some supplier. That's very niche. Some outside of that, you wouldn't be able to go in. Segmented, which is watch industry. Okay, watch industry is very segmented. It's very, very focused. Okay, on specific segment. Even the device, not the device, the engine that is being used in the watch industry is very, very focused. They're very, very tiny, and yeah, I'm talking about the all analog watch, not the current watch lah. So the current watch now already become digital touchscreen and so on, but the old watch, yeah, the engine and so on is very, very focused on uh, the watch industry is segmented. Okay, and then we have diversified cloud computing. So cloud computing covers from, if you look at cloud computing architecture, we have software as a service, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, SaaS, PaaS, IaaS. So different kind of segment goes into different category of the customer group. And we have multi-sided credit card. Credit card cannot work if they are single-sided because it requires member. We have to become member. A person have to become member, either so many card, Visa, MasterCard, and so on. And the credit cards must be accepted by the merchant. Otherwise, your credit card will just be a plastic, cannot use anything lah. To To garu belakang kan lah. Garu belakang to scratch your back. Okay, so that is customer segment. So I just put an example here. One business model. Later on, I want you to guess what company product is this. And then that one is mass market. And then we have value proposition. Value proposition is a bundle of product and services which create value for a specific customer segment. For a specific customer segment. So if we have different VP for different customer segment, normally in the business model canvas, if we do it, we put it in the same color. Okay, if we have customer segment, two customer segment which are different, one red color, one yellow, the value proposition, one for one segment and the other one, you have to make sure it fits the color match, so that you don't get confused. But because during our prototyping of business model, we normally don't have that much time on going into specific, so we generally do what they call exploring. Okay, so what are values? So I always tell my trainee or my students, value there are two, very very clear: quantity and quality. Try to differentiate quantity and quality. Quantitative is something which you can measure, something like say price, the speed of service, for example, efficiency, the impact when that you can measure, and so on. That is actually quantitative. The other one is quality, design, customer experience, the feel, the emotion. That one it cannot be quantified, but still it is part of value proposition. So the spectrum for value proposition are many. Newness, how new it is in terms of performance, how does it perform? Your value proposition, how does it perform compared to others? How does it is it be able to customize? How does it create convenience? How does it design to a specific use of a customer market? How about the brand, the status? Okay, some people just look at this brand and status. The rest they just close their eyes. They don't care. Okay, so price, the cost reduction, accessibility, usability, and so on. These are all the value spectrum for value proposition. Okay, and Ah, now bit by bit we will complete this business canvas. Just guess which company is this. Okay, and then we have channel. Don't forget, we have the customer segment. We have the value proposition. How we actually bring the value proposition, introduce it to our channel. Okay, so channel, like the lorry here lah. How a company communicates with and reach its customer segment to deliver a value proposition. Okay, so here you can see. Aha, so many things at the left here, there. Slowly, don't worry. Don't worry, the slide, I'll give it to you. The slide I will share, but keep it among you. Okay? Keep it among you, among UTM lah, among UTM community. Okay, so we have the channel type, can be your own, can be with partner, can be indirect or direct. Okay, I'm not going far on that because that one is very, very common. It's actually a sales force, web sales, and so on. The phases of channel, many people when I do exercise on business model canvas, they just focus on delivering the product to the customer. For example, if they are selling this, okay, this mouse, looks like a mouse. My daughter bought this one, just arrived a few days ago. So this mouse you want to sell to people, of course people know what's the purpose of the mouse, so people just want to buy. But if you are selling something, which people doesn't know what it is, the exact thing, you have to give awareness first. Okay, so the phases, number one, awareness. How do we raise awareness about our company product and services? In digital marketing, we do teaser, we do the soft selling part. Yeah, this is where we kick off with people. We kick off our product so that people see. We tease them. Okay, so what is this? And then they get excited. Then what? Then we give them the information. Okay, and then number two, customer evaluate. They will evaluate. They haven't purchased yet. They will evaluate. I don't think it's good for me. I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe, oh, this is good, and so on. They will evaluate. Number three, they will start purchasing. Okay, but we have to see, how do we allow customers to purchase? Some people, they do things, they promote, and then we start coming out with our credit card to pay. Okay, I want to buy 10. People like, you want to buy? I never thought you want to buy. Then why you come to me? I want to buy. Sir, I'm sorry, I cannot use credit card. I'm sorry. How about do it now? Do it now also cannot. I'm sorry. Everything sorry. You come to people, you want to sell something, and later on you are not ready to accept. Okay, that's purchase. Number 4,
Yep.
delivery. How do you deliver the value proposition to customer? This is normally the only thing that people use in the exercise of BMC. They put delivery. I'm going to deliver this and that. I'm going to send through what? I'm going to send through post. I'm going to so many lah. Okay.
Oh,
And
kan guna kau tak?
the last part is after sales. How do we provide post purchase customer support? Okay, so this one also not many people looking at it when we go into the what we call channel. Okay, tips here to find the right balance between different type of channel. So different type of channel, so many, and integrate them in a way that create great customer experience. So you have channel and you have experience. Experience from value proposition. You have your channel and to maximize revenue. Okay, so these are the tips. You have to play around with this. Okay, what I show you here, Alex Osterwelder tried to put something which we can put it in our left brain. Okay, it's designed that way. But you must understand, always try to go to the right brain so that we have more creative thinking. Okay? Okay, I proceed.
Sekarang ada dengan saya.
Customer segment, value proposition and channel.
Daging je lah.
So later on, then you can see, I think maybe you can guess already what company is it. The company maybe you can guess, but what product from the company? Okay, customer relationship. This is the type of relationship a customer established with a specific customer segment. Okay, specific, because we have specific customer segment. So it's range from personal to automated. Let me show you. I just open all now. Sorry. So personal assistance. You have personal assistance, human interaction. Okay, just look at here. Asia. How many of you have purchased Asia ticket and now trying to get refund?
Tak habis juga
Okay, I purchased actually to travel for next month. I purchased last November, family trip. I think nearly 10,000. Nearly 10,000 again. Cannot do anything with the money. Now I have to request for refund, but so difficult to get my comment. My comment or my request. Send email, no reply. Send Facebook, no reply. So talk to this. What is the lady? The Ava, AVA. Ava, right? A bad customer service. Don't mention bad customer service. So they don't actually have a dedicated. They actually do an automated self-service. But it's very difficult. Because when we talk to Ava doesn't understand, didn't understand any, and then it goes back to the first. And then sometimes it mentioned there, please wait. We will connect you to the personal assistant. You have 8 hours. 8 hours lah. Tunggulah. I just wait. One of the day I open up 2-3 computers, 3 different requests lah, 3 different booking number, and later on, out of the 8 hours, after 8 hours after I wake up, I see still 7 or 6 hours. The other one is already expired. Have to start again and again. So that's why it's very difficult because those kind of customer relationship, I think carries a big challenge. Okay. As been mentioned, now everyone can be ignored. Interesting. Okay. Kesian Tony. All right. Tapi kesian all the people lah. Okay. So that's so building strong customer segment, value proposition channel. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, revenue stream. Revenue stream pun ada banyak. Tapi generally divided into 2. One is transaction. One off. The other one is recurring revenue. Recurring revenue is something good. It's like if you open a restaurant, people come to you and makan every day. My mentor always tell me, Ramesh, if you do business, always look at those which has daily consumption. Daily consumption. Kalau dia tak makan, it doesn't mean makan. That means they consume daily. If they can consume minute or second, like prepaid card, it's second. Itu memang recurring revenue. They are so rich. 1XOX, my anak saudara, 1XOX in Terengganu. Very, very a lot of money lah. Okay. So why? Because he knows he get a lot of recurring revenue from there. Okay, so there are several ways to generate revenue stream. One is asset sale. This is very simple. Just buy. Habis. I don't have any commitment with you. I just purchase. Okay. The other one is usage fee. Whatever you want to use a specific thing, we pay. Okay. Let's say it's a gym lah. You go and come per day. You use is maybe 5 ringgit or maybe 10 ringgit. Sorry, but when you subscribe, it's different. You subscribe to a gym, maybe you pay 45 ringgit. You can use it every day instead of paying one day 10 ringgit, 5 ringgit perhaps. Okay, and then lending, renting, or leasing. Okay, this is sewa kereta, renting device, and so on. Okay, the other one is licensing. Licensing is more on those who has IP lah. I think in ICC, Puan Azlin knows very well. Okay, they have been a lot of experience on licensing. So we have our IP. We license to somebody who are interested to use it. Okay, to use it for business, and they pay some certain amount. And of course, there are brokerage fee. Fee is like a agent fee lah. They broker, they help us, and they become third party. Some people say middleman. Okay, but middleman not good. But this middleman sometimes we require them because they have know-how, they have they have license to handle and so on. And of course, advertising fee. Advertising fee like Google lah. Google has everything give us free. Okay, they give us free, but they use our data. They use our data to develop whatever it is they do until now. Google AdSense. All right, and then the pricing mechanism. This one you have to see pricing mechanism whether you want it to be fixed menu. Fixed menu is the fixed price, like you have a catalog list price. Okay, fixed price, list price, fixed price for individual product. Specific lah, like you go into restaurant, fixed price. Or product feature. For example, the price depends on what is the number. Okay, I buy you buy I buy you you put there, if you buy 10 you get this price, if you buy 5 you get this price. Okay, and of course sometimes it depends on the type of value, premium or not premium. Okay, we have freemium now, freemium. Okay, and then we have customer segment dependent. It depends, maybe you develop this software for university use, corporate use, personal use, and so on. Okay, or volume dependent, price as a function of quantity. Okay, volume, so the amount of volume that you plan to purchase. And then dynamic is something very interesting. For example, bargaining, negotiation. So it depends on if you can bargain you can get better price. Yield management is more on the what they call some resources which is perishable. For example, hotel rooms and flight. Hotel room, if the hotel open for today, if there are rooms today, if people don't rent it, don't go and book, the room will just be there but no income. So sometimes they offer, okay, they have automatically automate all the calculation, and then they can offer, they send message free. If you book today, stay today, you get 70% off. You won't, oh Yahoo, ngam lah, I want to go. Okay, so yeah, it depends lah whether you are near or not. The other one is real time market, value based on supply demand, like stock exchange and auction. The last one is auction. So all these are the pricing mechanism where you can actually choose. You can become think creatively on choosing it. Okay, all right. So we have key resources. I have to go fast. Okay, physical, intellectual, human. Physical, like us lah. Sorry, the items, the offices and so on, including IT. Okay, intellectual is our IP. Human is human beings. Financial is all the monetary part. Okay, that one is straightforward. Okay, and we have key activities. The most important thing a company must do to make its business model work, because you have to list down the most important activity that you have to do. Okay, so otherwise you cannot do it. For example, you need to have production, you need to have problem solving, you need to also have platform or network. Okay, and the second last is key partnership. The key partnership building block describe the network of suppliers and partners that make the model work. Okay, because this answer the question whether we can do it. Okay, so there are several. One is strategic alliance, non-competitor. We can work with our non-competitor. Let's say UTM work with some other industry, and then we open up a program. If we are doing co-opetition, maybe like UTM Excite, we work with Polytechnic and so on to offer programs, entrepreneurship program. Polytechnic youth, we have partner youth in the south, UTEM, UTHM, Poly, UITM, and ourselves. So we actually become the coordinator. So they are actually our competitor because they are trying to get the same same group of students from SPM, STPM, but we work with them together to have programs. And then we join venture, okay? We can also do joint venture to develop new business, very, very new business. And of course, there's another one, buyer-supplier relationship. This is where we make sure that we don't lose the supply, okay? Otherwise, you don't have buyer-supplier relationship, people will just, bye-bye, I'm not your supplier, I just leave, then habis lah. You cannot do anything, okay? Three: motivation, optimization, and economy of scale, reduction of risk. This is the thing I mentioned. We want to optimize and scale up, okay, economy of scale, okay, so that we get the right, for example, supplier for us. Maybe we get very specific resources. We can reduce the risk in case, let's say we have three supplier, okay, which we can identify. If one doesn't want, we can actually go to the other two, and so on. Okay. And the last one is actually cost structure. Cost structure, cost driven and value driven. This is straightforward. Some business model, they focus on cost. They want to make sure that they cut costs. My company is cutting costs. My company is cutting costs. So they are going to the cost driven. Some of the companies are focusing more on value. So they want extra quality and so on. So they always, of course, extra quality come with premium price. Okay. But a lot of our students, they present and then they say, okay, mine is cheap. Okay, the other one cheap. Cheap, murah. I always the word cheap or murah haram. Sorry, I don't allow in my class. There's no word as haram pula, as cheap or murah, because when you say cheap, it's always it's cheap. You are so cheap. The product cheap. That means no quality. Okay, murah also. Kalau berpatutan, okay, and so on, is okay. And they always offer so many value proposition, but the price is the cheapest. So I also couldn't understand the logic. So please make sure that we are not going into that direction. Okay, so can you guess what kind of company is this? So the company is Apple, iPod, and iTunes. Okay, Apple, iPod, and iTunes BMC. All right, this one no prizes, don't worry. Okay, I'll show you a simple one. I don't know whether you know Hilti. Hilti is a power tool. Power tool, Apple, Power tool actually is a company, it's a family-owned grown company from Liechtenstein. It's this very, very small country in Europe. I think in between Austria, Switzerland, I think so. I never been there, but I dream to go there. Okay, and then they develop high-end machine tools specifically for builders. But the best thing is they have Salesforce, which introduce or show the product directly to builders. This Salesforce also work directly to handle customer relationship. You imagine they go one-to-one. Ayo, so nice. Okay, and they do transactional sales, but just recently they already changed their model into recurring sales. And they have factories, the resources, they have factories, they have their brand name, very, very powerful, Hilti, same level as Bosch and so on. And they have their patents, they have so many patents in Hilti, and they have key activities of manufacturing, selling, and not to forget, their key partners are subcontractors. Okay, because the builders are working in the contract firm, subcontracting firm, so they work closely with subcontracting firm because subcontracting firm require a lot of these what they call personal tools. And cost structure, manufacturing, and brand. Okay, again we go back to this where they are customer driven and resource and finance driven. Okay, I think by now you already can remember where is it, because the customer driven, the customer segment, the resource driven is where you have the resource, and the cost, or the finance driven is we have the revenue and the cost structure. Okay, I want to share with you whatever it is. If you look here from the customer driven, they are fronts disruption. We cannot avoid disruption. Disruption can be, uh, it happens every second. Okay, and it may affect us. It's actually already affecting us due to COVID. Okay, so the front stage disruption is actually what we call a radical change on of who is targeted and how product and service are delivered. So it's focusing on the customer part, customer segment, customer relationship. Nothing to do with the technology lah. Okay, in this case, I want to ask you a question. Very, very simple. What do these three business models have in common? iPod, Microsoft Windows, and marriage. Before that, let us see this. You imagine when Steve Jobs pulled out this device from his pocket. He mentioned what? This amazing device, you can have 1,000 songs in a pocket. Why did he do this? And what happened? He is actually locking us in his device. So that is very difficult for us to move to another device. So what do you think the disruption is? It's about switching costs. Switching costs. Okay. So switching costs is where you imagine the guy who actually purchased the iPod, he has his all the songs there sync with iTunes. He can only use that. He cannot actually go and get the songs to other page. Okay, they don't allow that because it's very exclusive. iPod is very exclusive on that. Okay, the other question is backstage disruption, radical change of how products and services are created. Okay, this is also a quiz. Okay, a quiz. Look at backstage disruption. I'm going to ask question again. What do these three business models have in common? IKEA, Red Hat, and Facebook. I tell you a little bit story. Do you know this guy? I think everyone knows him. Okay. Okay. So what this guy do? Actually, what we do? We actually use Facebook platform, and we become what? We become workers for them. We are they provide platform. We actually every day put whatever it is we want, send, post, receive, connect, blah blah blah, and whatever it is. Okay, so at the end of the day, what happened here is actually I'm going to open the answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Getting others to do the work. Okay, so this is another one, which is switching the role. When you say switching the role, I think nearly correct. Who mentioned just now switching the role? Okay, nearly correct. Yes, yeah. So getting others, yeah, like IKEA DIY, Red Hat Linux DIY, Facebook also. You also develop the content. No one actually ask you. Anyone ask you? Did Facebook pay you? Of course, maybe Facebook but anyone, you are not a worker for Facebook. You are UTM student or UTM staff. Okay, you're not worker for Facebook, but we keep on doing work for them. Okay, so what we call this guy, this doing work, we specifically call them as scalers. Scalers, they scale up, they build up from zero to hero. They build up because everyone actually contributing content, everyone contributing the work. Yeah, like IKEA, no problem. Of course, they provide you with service to assemble everything, but you are given a very very nice instruction to assemble. Okay, so the recipe is actually the key resource is the instruction. Okay, which develop a lot of scalers. Okay, this one. Okay, profit formula disruption. This is talking about finance. Because talking about finance. Nespresso, Salesforce, and Planet Fitness. What do you think these three business model have in common? Nespresso, you know, right? Nespresso, Nescafe machine which has step. You can make it. I think Prof. Rose have it. I haven't tried. Okay. Uh, Salesforce is a sales team which they have been doing what they call very consistently going into doing sales and what do you call marketing. Okay, and they are even the number one, the first one of the leader in software as a service. Okay, online or cloud. And Planet Fitness. Okay, is a chain of a gym lah, chain of gym. Okay, what do you think these three business models have in common? Brand. Okay, other than that, the answer is recurring revenue. Recurring revenue. So Nespresso last time, if you have Nescafe, the machine, normal last time the machine, they actually supply B2B, business to business. So a company purchase the machine and then habis, finish. But later on they change it to B2C. So what they do, they supply the Nespresso machine to customer. Okay, so the customer later on has to purchase taps, all the taps, the small tap of Nescafe, whatever it is, like the flavor, to put there and then to make their coffee. And it's recurring. In Switzerland alone, the Nespresso, I heard, I never been to Switzerland, but I heard they are even uh, the what they call garbage can full of this tap, the Nespresso tap, because people drink and they just throw it for recycling, aluminium. Okay, so they aluminium and plastic lah. So they have these pots, right? Not pads, pots. So recurring revenue here, we call it a disruptor on revenue differentiator. Okay, so this is just an overview because the real content is coming from this new book, okay, of Alex Ostrander. But I show you there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9, 10. Business model mechanics. Okay, all the disruptors, business model mechanic. Okay, I'm looking forward to actually go deeper on that because currently I don't have any very much what they call formal what they call reference on that. But once I get it, maybe I can share. Maybe we can do another round on sharing. We have our BMC. Let's zoom out from our BMC. Just now we see BMC alone. So when we zoom out from BMC, there are 4 things pushing into the BMC, which is key trends, industry forces, market forces, and macroeconomic forces. If you see there are family things happening. You can see even the 5 forces, five what they call 5 forces model Potter. The first time I heard from Prof. Ross last time was the Potter 5 forces model is even there, okay, in the left side and so on. Okay, this is just to show you. I don't want to explain more. How about zooming in? How about what if we zoom into the BMC? If you zoom in BMC, we can see here, okay, we can see here what we call as a VP canvas, value proposition canvas. This is another canvas. I think just now from the poll, there are two of you actually put there, you know about this canvas. So this canvas is focusing on two, okay, here, customer segment. This is one of our customer segment. This is the business model canvas as we seen just now. Okay, this is the exact copy of what business model canvas is, exactly like this. Okay, this is one of the customer segment that we have, and we have also one offering that we have to our customer. In value proposition canvas, I'm not going deep on this, but I'm just going to give overview. Okay, we need to have a fit. Okay, here there are 2. One is, we call it the observe part. We are observing our customer. We are observing our customer, particularly on the customer job pain and gain, and also we design the offerings for them. The offering is called value here. Okay, this is how the value proposition canvas. This one require one session, very quite long session lah, if you want to go. So I just give overview. So there must be a fit. This is what I mean by fit in our aim just now. I mentioned customer segment and value proposition. There must be a fit. Okay, so the fitting can be actually measured. Through some exercise. Okay, so value proposition is the combination of products and services that create value for a particular customer segment. So we go back again. This is the definition of value proposition. So we want to create fit. But unfortunately, today we are fooling ourselves if we think we know what the customer wants. We are fooling ourselves. This is from Clay Richardson. Okay, so he mentioned that we actually fooling ourselves if we think we know what customer wants. So we need to come out with a deep understanding of customer. So I want to share. This slide is not from me. It's from Gentech and Jordan. Okay, so he mentioned that people are not interested in the service you are designing. Is it correct or not? What do you think about this? People are not interested in the service that you are designing. Okay, so they are only interested in what it does for them or which job it helps them to get done. It's actually true. It's actually, they have done a lot of study, and it's true that whatever it is that we purchase, the things that we purchase is to do the job that we need to be done. That is it. For example, people don't buy a quarter-inch drill; they want a quarter-inch hole. Okay, like this lah. People don't want quarter drill bits; they want quarter holes. Okay, so this is part of what mentioned as a job done. what actually the service that we give. So I show customer job. For example, you need to brush your teeth, right? What is the job? So that you have a fresh breath, so that you feel fresh, so that you can prevent caries. So the solution, you can go for toothpaste, you can go for chewing gum, we can go for professional tooth cleaning. Some people go for sodium bicarbonate, some people go for minyak kelapa, and so on lah. So many. So, but it works. It's a solution. So we have to think this way. We have to understand what are the customer job. Okay. So there are three kind of job. Functional job entails the specific function that we need to do. Okay. Number two is emotional. How a customer wants to feel. How me, for example, how I want to feel. I want to feel good. I want to feel like, oh, excited. I want to feel satisfying. Okay. The other one is social jobs. How I want to be perceived by others. I want to see people perceive me like, oh, Zaidi is good lah. He has good understanding of something. Okay. After let's say I learn in UTM. I come out from UTM. People say Zaidi actually a graduate from UTM. Very very good. So that is the kind of job that I want to be solved. Okay, so like listening to music, whatever it is, the job is listening to music in whatever way you give, private concert, vinyl record, compact disc, and so on. It's the same. Okay, the only thing here is mentioned. Jobs are solution agnostic and remain valid over time, because once we know the job, it remains valid all the time. So maybe in future there's something, maybe some kind of earbud like this, or something like a small patch. You just I patch on my hand, and I can listen to music through the vibration. Maybe. Okay. So this is just if you understand the job. Okay. So I have to go fast. I need to go fast. Okay. This one is a video. It's available in the slide. Okay. I will give you the link. The late Clayton Christensen, he already passed away. The late Clayton Christensen, you can if you Google Professor Milkshake, he actually mentioned about the case of milkshake he solved through the understanding of jobs to be done. Very very nice story. Okay, I'm sorry if I take a lot of your time. I welcome question later on. So there are a series of practical yet not non-conventional. Non-conventional books that means these books are really good. It's very visual and so on. It's very exciting. But I get complaint also. It's too small. The font is too small and so on. Some people complain lah. Okay, but it's okay. So from 2010, 2012, 2014, I have all these testing business model. I don't have. I don't have the full book of testing business model, but I have a few pages of it. Okay, and this is the most exciting things to come. 2020, the invincible company. Oh, how to become an invincible company? What mountain is this? Matterhorn, right? Is it Matterhorn? Anyone knows? I never been there. Okay, I was a student from Japan, so I don't know about mountain in Europe. I know Fujisan. Okay, so this is very nice. You know why? Because in this book, it tells us. I'm still waiting for my copy to come. It tells us what we call as business model portfolio. You imagine. Previously, we are talking about business model canvas, Don't worry, it's still a basic. We need to know that. But now it goes to business model portfolio, where we position it into high return, low return, high risk, and low risk. Okay, so we can actually measure that. This is I'm looking forward to see. Okay, and here, even yesterday during our Envision 2025, I mentioned to our friends and to Prof. Sharin about explore and exploit. This is where this new book telling the story. And I still remember in 2013 when I talked to Alex Osterwelder, I asked him, Alex, what is the most challenging for you to do? Is actually to have this idea where you get from your business model and execute it. You can see just now the graph like this and becomes like this. Okay, they execute like this and become straight. Oh, okay, from your left side, like this and become like this. So what happened? This is where he mentioned, just wait, bear with me, in few years I will come up with the solution. So he's going to the solution. So here he mentioned about exploring and also exploiting. It's very interesting. Okay, so it's explore and exploit. If we see here, explore, exploit, the focus in explore is search and breakthrough. The focus of exploit is efficiency and growth. You can see lah, uncertainty for explore, of course, it's high because it's not clear. It's a very, very rough and what they call unclear road, unexplored road. So somebody has to explore it. So its uncertainty is very high. Exploit is low because it's clear. You just need somebody to explain doing exploitation. But I mentioned yesterday, to Prof. Sharin that in UTM we have done profiling for staff. So it's very important for us to have a good understanding of which staff match to what kind of skills. Okay, I'm not saying that everyone shouldn't do all. I'm not saying that. Okay, because like for example, if we become so holistic, okay, there's a problem that we become master of everything, king of nothing. So we try to understand all, we do all and so on, but we are not. Our strength is not there. Okay, so we have to understand the nature. Okay, fitrah manusia ni memang dibesarkan, dihasilkan oleh Allah untuk keadaan ataupun kekuatan yang berbeza. We know already everyone has different strength. Okay, exploit here, for example, growth and so on. Okay, I'm going fast. I want to ask question. How many innovation project does it take to produce one multi-billion success? Here I show you. I show you. For Nespresso, just for Nespresso project, the study done by Alex Osterwelder and his team, it takes 25 projects to produce one Nespresso. 25 to produce one. Oh my God! You see, that means in exploration part, they were 16 fail, and there were some kind of success, a little bit success, 8, and they are only 1. What can we learn from this? What can we learn from this? Okay, what we can learn is always we cannot pick the winner without investing in the loser. It's very, very important. So we cannot see people who fail. I mean, fail systematically. Cannot see fail systematically. They fail. They do what they do best, but they fail, and they relearn. They learn, unlearn, and relearn until they reflect everything and they do again in a better way. Okay, we can do that. But here the lesson learned is you can't pick the winner without investing in the loser. Okay, so from the exploit and explore, there are also 3 types of innovation. So many people will okay, CEO Dr. Adib, Dr. Adib owns a company, spin-off company. Dr. Iskandar owns spin-off company. Okay, Dr. Mariani, Dr. Hamida, Dr. Yong, and so on. So yeah, of course, in their head always have, where should we go for the innovation? Should we grow? Should we sustain? Should we go for efficiency? So all these are the 3 types of innovation, which also mentioned in the book. Okay, where we want to go and explore or we want to go and exploit. Okay, Alhamdulillah. So I got this last slide with me. Okay, the conclusion is, of course, we can't ignore the importance of BM, business model. Either we are in the startup searching for business model, or we are in an established company, or even in research in university. Okay, we must have our business model. Deep observation of customer segment and well-designed BP, value proposition, should contribute to a better fit. BP towards getting the job done. Explore and exploit continuum for achieving 3 types of innovation, which is efficiency, sustainable, and growth innovation. So thank you very much, guys. I think all the best things comes from Allah. From the imperfect is coming from me. But I'm so excited to see so many of you, and I hope the spirit of understanding business model, not only for companies and so on, but for our personal use, can be practiced. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. Have a nice Ramadan, and please stay safe.